You ever have that feeling where you're just so sure about something, and then bam, you find out you were totally off? Yeah, that's not just you. Turns out, our brains are hardwired with these little mental shortcuts to help us get through the day. But here's the catch. Sometimes, those same shortcuts can lead us way off track.
All right, let's just jump right in with a little puzzle to show you what I mean. I'm gonna tell you about a woman named Linda. As I'm describing her, just try to get a picture of her in your mind.
Okay, here's the deal with Linda. She's 31 years old, single, outspoken, and pretty sharp. She majored in philosophy. Back in college, she was really passionate about social justice and fighting discrimination, and she even went to anti-nuclear protests. Got that? Just keep that picture of Linda in your head for a second.
Okay, so based on that description, which of these is more probable? Is Linda A, a bank teller, or B, a bank teller and active in the feminist movement? Now be honest, if you're like pretty much everyone else who's heard this, you probably picked option B. It fits, right? It feels so much more representative of the person we just imagined.
But, and here's the twist, the logically correct answer is actually A. I know, it feels wrong, but think about it like this, just purely with logic. The group of all bank tellers has to include the smaller group of bank tellers who are also feminists, right? So there's no way statistically that option B can be more likely than option A. What you just bumped into is a classic mind bender called the conjunction fallacy.
So what just happened there? What was going on inside your head? Well, you've just had a run-in with something called a cognitive bias. Let's unpack what that actually is.
So the official definition of a cognitive bias is a systematic pattern of deviation from norm or rationality in judgment. Whoa, okay, let's translate that. Basically, these aren't just random one-off mistakes. They're predictable, repeatable glitches in our thinking. They're patterns where our brain builds its own little subjective reality that doesn't quite line up with the objective facts.
A great way to think about this is that our brains kind of have two modes. You've got your slow, careful, logical thinking. That's rationality. It takes effort. But then you have this other mode, fast, automatic mental shortcuts. Psychologists call these heuristics. And that Linda problem? It totally tricked you because your brain went for the fast option. It used a heuristic, quickly matching her description to the feminist bank teller's story. It's super efficient, yeah, but as we just saw, it can definitely be wrong.
And believe it or not, this isn't some newfangled idea. The whole field really got its start back in the 70s with two psychologists, Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman. Their work on this was so massive, so revolutionary, that it completely changed the game. It exploded out of psychology and is now, absolutely essential for understanding how we make decisions in everything from medicine and finance to politics.
Okay, so that Linda problem, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There are literally dozens of these known biases. So let's do a little lightning round, a quick tour of some of your brain's most common and most fascinating quirks.
First up is a real big one, confirmation bias. This is our brain's natural tendency to go looking for and pay attention to information that proves that we already believe. And at the same time, we get really good at ignoring or dismissing anything that might challenge our views. It's like we're all our own personal hype man.
Next, we've got the anchoring bias. You've definitely seen this in action. The very first piece of information you get, like the first price you see on a car, acts like an anchor. From that moment on, every other judgment you make is kind of subconsciously tied to that initial number, pulling you in its direction. Oh, and we're all guilty of this one for sure, the self-serving bias. This is why when our team wins, it's because we played great. But when our team loses, oh, it was the refs, the bad weather, just bad luck. It's our brain's little defense mechanism for our ego. And last on our quick tour, hindsight bias. You probably know this better as the I knew it all along effect. After something happens, say a surprise election result or a stock market dip, our brains cleverly rewrite history to make it seem like the outcome was totally obvious and predictable from the start. We're all geniuses in retrospect, right? Okay, so these little mental quirks are interesting, but here's the thing. They're not just fun party tricks. They have serious, sometimes even dangerous consequences out in the real world. I mean, just think about it for a second. A doctor misdiagnosing a patient, a jury getting it wrong in a trial, an investor panicking and selling at the worst possible time, a manager passing over the best candidate because of an unconscious prejudice. Every single one of those can be a direct result of these cognitive biases, and the consequences can change people's lives forever. And in the world we live in now, with social media everywhere, the stakes have gotten even higher. Let's talk misinformation. A huge study looked at the 2016 US election and analyzed how news spread online.
They looked at more than 16,000 stories that were confirmed to be false.
And what they found was just staggering. The false news, the fake stories, spread so much faster and reached way more people than the true stories. And a huge part of the reason why is that fake news is often perfectly engineered to tap into our biases. It's designed to align with what we already think and to trigger a big emotional reaction.
What you're seeing there is confirmation bias on steroids, amplified by algorithms. We are biologically wired to click, believe, and share stuff that confirms our existing worldview.
So, this all leads to a really important question, right? Are we just stuck with these buggy mental programs, or is there a way to actually outsmart our own brains?
Well, the good news is people are working on it. There's a whole field of study called debiasing, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the process of trying to reduce the power of these biases on our judgment and decisions, usually through specific training and new mental strategies.
And researchers have come up with a few key strategies that can really help. First, and this is the big one, just slow down. Actively force yourself to switch off autopilot and use that deliberate, rational part of your brain. Second, try to take the outside view. Instead of getting lost in the details of your specific situation, look at the data. What happened in hundreds of similar situations in the past? And third, increase accountability. Seriously, just knowing that you're going to have to explain your reasoning to someone else makes you think a whole lot more carefully and helps keep biases in check.
And that really brings us to the final thought here. The trickiest thing about cognitive biases is that they are incredibly easy to spot in other people, but almost impossible to see in ourselves. So now that you know what to look for, the real challenge begins. Can you actually catch your own brain in the act?